Hello, this is John Prince, an STC field rep, and I'm going to give you a basic overview of the new learning portal for STC. And I'm just going to basically cover the general screens that all training managers and private providers will have access to in the beginning, and some of the features that they do. So I'm going to start here. This is mostly for training managers, but everybody will have it. My catalog area. Now, my catalog is for training that is assigned to you when the full LMS is functional. In the beginning, though, STC will be using this to build tutorials so users can learn how to use the system. So I'm logged in right now as a training manager, basically a test account, and my catalog, so I've assigned these various tutorials or online tutorials, and if I could click one like adding a new user, if I click this, it will actually take me to a YouTube video. I'll go ahead and do that real quick and close. There we go. So this is an easy way to access online tutorials that are assigned to basically all new training managers and private providers. So that's my catalog. That's your personal catalog that's assigned to your user account. My history is the same thing. These are courses that you have completed through the LMS. Again, at the very first phase, we'll be using this just for tutorials, but eventually, when the full LMS is opened up, you will be able to track your training that you've accomplished. Basically, this will become your training file, your electronic training file of all the courses that you've attended, whether they are through the Learning Portal or brick and mortar courses. Then there is my forums. These are forums that are assigned to you depending on your role. Again, I'm logged in as a training manager, so we have FAQ set up, and we're going to use these forums to relay information about different aspects of the learning portal, but eventually we'll be opening up additional forums that will replace Google Groups that the training managers use, and a variety of other different forums. Forums can be assigned to both users, and they can also be assigned to organizations. So down the road, when we become more, you start adding more and more users to the system. Let's say for an agency, they could set up forums for training by divisions or by certain users based on classification. You can also set up forums for courses. If you're running online courses, you could actually have a forum where the students would log in and complete work. So basically, and there's one thing so in using the forums, you just click on these hyperlinks and they take you directly in to the particular subject. So tutorials, if you click on tutorials, it'll show all the posts that have been added, and then if like creating an IFT, so you would click on that. This gives us a link right to the YouTube. And here's one thing that's very important. If you want to post a question, and you would just hit reply, and I would ask, and I think everybody would agree, there is really no reason to include the entire copy of the message. So you can click that, and then you could write whatever you want. If you don't do that, it posts the entire this all over again. So it just makes the forum cleaner. So then we move over to manage certifications. This will be where you build courses both as an agency or a private provider. Right now, when I first come to the screen, all certifications, this display right here is set at all. It will show me all the certifications that I'm working on and their statuses. But if I wanted to see courses They were active, meaning that they are certified in the system, ready to go. They all have approved. Then I can also look at courses that are expired, since there are none, they're not listed. And then certifications pending approval. These are courses that are sitting on your field reps screen for them to review. And then obviously if you want to look at the various types, you can go in and look at them individually, core, IFTs and whatnot. We also added additional classifications. We have conferences, con. This will be mostly used for folks that are building conferences, and we'll be publishing additional information. Basically work with your field rep on trying to streamline the conference building process. It's a little more complicated than building just a regular RFC. And then non-STC, this was one of the things that was asked for by our test group, is to be able to track non-STC certified classes. If you build one of those, it will not go to your field rep for certification. It just basically builds the course, and that way you can track non-STC courses. The next, I'm going to skip reports at this time and go to My Agency. So when you come to My Agency as a training manager, mostly, and you will have a variety of different tabs. Private providers will have will have fewer tabs, but the use of them is pretty much the same. Users, this tab is where you will add new users to the system, whether you're adding them for in this very first phase after September 12th. The only additional roles that we really want added to the system will be additional training staff, folks that will be certifying courses, or on a private provider side will be if a private provider has additional staff that work in the office that handle certifications, you can go ahead and add that user so they would have access to your certifications. And then the other group that we'll be adding in the beginning is instructors. Obviously, for building certifications, you'll need an instructor, so you'll have to add them as a user in the Learning Portal. That way, that you can add them to the outline. So initially, that's will be very important. Eventually, activities and tracks will become very important for agencies. This is where you will build and manage the training for your department. So I'd like you to remember, basically, the certification is really the way you communicate with the STC as far as getting the course certified, but eventually the management of that course, completing rosters, as far as compliance, how many hours did they attend that course, were they there for the full certified, all that will be handled in the activity side. Organization, there should only be one. So this is your organization. It'll give you your contact information. It also tells you what users. Well, actually, let's back up. So this first group is managers. These folks are the ones that have the ability to add certifications, add additional users. And then if you need to learn how to set up a new user, there is a tutorial for that. So those are your managers for that particular group. And then our users. These are folks that are, mostly these will be instructors in the early beginning. And so that's our organization. And discussion groups, if you want to build a new discussion group just for your organization, this is where you would do that and manage that process. We will build additional tutorials on how to do that. And then lastly, roles. These are the various roles that are in the system. Now, when I log in, these roles are much bigger, a bigger list, because I have administrative rights, but this is what would be available. Roles are very important in the LMS for giving users the appropriate access to the site. So a user's experience when they log into the portal will be much different than, let's say, a training manager. Their screen will be much different. If we went into user right now and I clicked on user, I can actually log in directly as this user since I have administrative rights. And training managers and private providers, you will have that right for folks that are assigned to your organization or to your company. So if I log in under tester here, my view will change. See? The only thing that he can actually see now is the home screen and my forums. That's all he can see. As time goes on, we can go through and add additional abilities for them, or as you were, additional access to various parts of the portal, which is done fairly easy, unlike other systems. I'll just show you real quickly. If we went into users, this is what they have the access to now, general, and I would be able to edit this and add all these additional rights while they're in the portal. So very easy to control who gets to see what and who gets to do what in the system. And it's very easy to make adjustments. So that basically concludes the overview of what you'll see after the 12th. New features and abilities of the Learning Portal will expand as time goes on. This basic blank space here is left blank intentionally. Eventually, our calendaring for when you log in, the calendar, the things that are associated to you and your department will be here. We will have a rundown of kind of like a report that will generate in the course certification. It will tell you basically how many courses you have certified, if you have courses that are pending expiration. All your annual training plan information will be here, and then some compliance data will be here. But we were wanting to build this kind of like a dashboard, so when the training manager or private provider logs into the system, they can get an instant view of what's going on in the system as it's related to training. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to either post them in the forum or contact your assigned field rep. Thank you.